The first transmission came through static and screams. Varela Prime, one of humanity's outer colonies, was burning. The skies glowed crimson with plasma fire. The surface blackened under orbital bombardment. Civilians ran for cover beneath shattered domes that once glittered like jewels across the valley plains. The attackers were the Threxian Combine, a proud and ancient warrior species whose fleet stretched across 30 systems. They saw themselves as the inheritors of war itself, bred for conquest, forged in ritualized violence. To them, humans were soft, merchants, diplomats, builders of pretty worlds, not fighters for them. The Threxian warlord Vern Tal watched from orbit as the colony burned, his scaled lips curving into a smirk. "So these are the children of Earth," he said to his second-in-command. "1 million souls, and not one soldier among them." His officer laughed, mandibles clicking in amusement. "They will send words, not warriors. They will send pleas, not fleets." Below them, Varela's defense grid fell silent. The Threxians executed every colonial guard they found, most of them farmers holding rifles older than their grandparents. When the last distress beacon was snuffed out, Vern ordered a final bombardment. The planet cracked, the colony erased, and as silence returned to the void, he made a transmission for all to hear. To the humans who claim dominion beyond their cradle, learn this: your reach ends where the Threxian shadow begins. He signed it with the symbol of conquest, a talon through a human skull. The arrogance of the victors, across the Threxian sectors. The news spread like wildfire. Their warcasts replayed the destruction of Varela on loop, reveling in the humiliation of Earth's pretend empire. "Fools," said the Threxian scholars, "who thought trade could win them respect." "Arrogant," sneered the generals, "to spread so far without teeth." And among the common broods, laughter echoed, loud and cruel. They mocked humanity's grief, broadcasting parodies of humans begging for peace. Artists painted caricatures of terrified colonists. Even the lesser vassal races joined the chorus, hoping to curry favor with their overlords by spitting on Earth's name. When the Galactic Council gathered to address the atrocity, the Threxian ambassador stood tall. "We acted on sovereign right," he declared. "The humans built on our border without tribute. We merely reminded them of their place. No one opposed him. No one dared. After all, the Threxians were war incarnate. And humanity? Humanity was quiet. No declarations. No counterattack. No fleets launched from Sol. Only silence. The galaxy mistook it for fear. Vern Tal toasted to their weakness, surrounded by his generals in a banquet of blood wine and song. "They will mourn," he said, "and then they will forget. The humans are too few to fight us. Too few to matter." He raised his glass. "To victory over the fragile." The hall erupted in laughter. But in that silence, far away, on a pale blue world orbiting a yellow sun, humanity listened and remembered the silence before the storm weeks passed. Then months. Still no word from Earth. The Threxians began to mock the silence itself. "Perhaps their leaders hide in caves," joked one. "Commander, or perhaps they are begging their council for mercy," another added. But something strange began to happen. Human merchants vanished. From the trade routes, colonial outposts, once vibrant with chatter, went dark. The Terran diplomatic channels fell eerily silent. Even the Galactic Council received no human representatives, no protests, no requests for justice. Nothing, and that nothing began to feel heavy. One by one, Threxian scouts who entered human-claimed sectors failed to return. Their last transmissions carried fragments of static, sometimes a single phrase. "There's something here." Their commanders dismissed it as malfunction, until the first fleet disappeared. Threxian Patrol Group, 5 destroyers strong, entered the Sol borderline to demonstrate dominance. None came back. Only debris drifted from the edge of the Kuiper Belt, melted and silent as if erased by something that moved faster than thought. The warlord grew uneasy. "Send more ships," he ordered, and so they did. 30 warships crossed into Terran space. They found nothing, no colonies, no stations, not even a beacon, but their sensors felt wrong. Ghost signatures flickered across their displays, mass readings too large to be real. Faint whispers across comms, distorted and chilling. The ships turned their scanners toward the black, and one captain swore she saw it. A shape moving between the stars. Vast. Silent. Then her ship disappeared. By the time the fleet's distress signal reached Threxian High Command, all 30 ships were gone. The silence broke, but not from Earth, from the void itself. When ghosts filled the stars, it began on the night side of Threxian Prime. Their skies, usually a deep amber hue, shimmered as unnatural shadows passed across their moons. The planetary defense grid went on alert, sensors detecting hundreds of unidentified masses dropping from orbit. Multiple contacts, no IFF signatures, approaching from high orbit. The first visual feed came through shaky and grainy, but unmistakable, human dropships. Hundreds of them. The warlord couldn't comprehend it.
Impossible! We destroyed their colony!
They had no armies, no fleets, but the truth burned itself across the sky as the first wave descended. Dark hulls of matte black alloy, massive orbital carriers bearing no insignia but one, a white, stylized skull over a burning star, the Ghost Division. A name whispered in Terran history but never confirmed. The soldiers who fought in silence, the dead who answered when Earth called for vengeance. From orbit, the ghost fleets unleashed their fury. Beams of coherent light carved through Threxian defense satellites. Rail slugs the size of buildings shattered orbital fortresses. Missile storms turned the stratosphere into a sea of falling fire. The warlord watched as his capital's shields collapsed under the onslaught. Then, the soldiers came. They landed like specters, armor black as night, moving through fire and smoke without a word. No cries, no roars, no mercy. Each carried the emblem of Varela Prime etched into their shoulder plates. Threxian soldiers fired plasma volleys that vanished into shimmering barriers. Humans answered with rail pulses that turned warriors into mist. Entire regiments disappeared in seconds. It wasn't a battle. It was reckoning. Across multiple worlds, the same story unfolded. Every Threxian system that had cheered the destruction of Varela found itself surrounded. Fleets of non-existent Terran ships decloaked from deep space, each one bearing names of the fallen colonies. Varela's wrath, the forgotten dawn. No graves left. They came in silence. They left nothing standing. Retribution of the dead. The Threxians tried to fight back. They launched counter-offensives, mobilized entire legions. But for every human ship they destroyed, 10 more appeared. For every planet they defended, 2 others fell. And then humanity changed the battlefield itself. On the 4th day of the war, the Ghost Fleet activated their final protocol, Mirrorfall. Orbital arrays deployed above Threxian worlds, reflecting solar energy into concentrated beams. Oceans boiled, cities vaporized. Within hours, entire continents ceased to exist. The Threxians called it genocide. Humanity called it justice. In the chaos, the warlord broadcast his final message to the council. They are not few. They are not weak. You fools, they are ghosts and they have come for us all. Then his signal ended as his flagship was split in two by a kinetic lance traveling at 1/10 the speed of light. The final transmission by the 7th day, the Threxian Combine was gone. Their worlds burned or lay silent. Their fleets were wreckage drifting in cold vacuum. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session, demanding answers from Earth. None came. Instead, a single transmission appeared on every major frequency in the galaxy. No source, no coordinates, just a voice, calm, human. We heard your laughter. You thought our soldiers few. You thought us meek, bound by mercy. But we have no mercy for monsters. We do not start wars. We end them. Varela Prime stands avenged. If you still doubt humanity's reach, look to the stars and count the ghosts. Then silence. Aftermath. The fear of a whisper. When the smoke cleared, the galaxy found itself changed. No human fleets patrolled foreign borders. No envoys arrived to boast of victory. Earth returned to its silence, as if it had never moved at all. But that silence carried a different weight now. It was not the quiet of fear. It was the quiet of warning. The Threxian ruins became forbidden space. No scavenger dared to approach their worlds. Those who tried told stories of phantom signals, old Terran war hymns playing faintly through static. They said the Ghost Division still watched the ashes, guarding them as a message to all. The Council placed a moratorium on any military action against human space. Even their rivals, species that had once scoffed at Earth, whispered the same words when talk of conflict arose. Don't provoke the Terrans. And in time, the name Varela Prime became more than a tragedy. It became a legend, a warning etched into galactic memory. Humanity never spoke of what happened, not officially. Their historians erased the Ghost Division from the records. Their diplomats denied knowledge of Mirrorfall. But sometimes, just sometimes, when alien observers looked toward the Sol system through their long-range telescopes, they swore they could see shapes drifting at the edge of the light, Silent ships, watching, waiting. Epilogue. The Lesson of Fire. A century later, a young alien cadet asked his instructor why their people never explored human borders again. The old general looked up from his scars and said quietly, "Because once, we thought their soldiers few.